NFL Today is presented by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41.
And welcome back to the NFL Today, where it's time for our Visa First on the Field. The Dolphins are taking on the Texans today. From our New York studios, let's fly down to Houston, where Gus Johnson and Steve Tasker are standing by. Gentlemen.
All right, JB, Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas. And we're ready for the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans here on CBS Sports. And although the Texans haven't won, these fans are still enthusiastic and excited about their team. They feel that this is the day that the Texans win their first game of the season. Hi, everybody. I'm Gus Johnson, and welcome to Houston. The Dolphins and the Texans, two teams looking to move forward, but at the same time, they're still trying to find their way. And I'm joined by my partner, Steve Tasker. Steve, we'll start with Houston, and they're looking for an improvement on their defense.
Well, that's where their problems start. They've got some problems on that side of the football because they've changed from a 3-4 to a 4-3 defense this year under head coach Gary Kubiak, and they're still trying to find themselves. They've got some guys that are playing a little bit out of position, guys that are playing different positions. You see there, they're giving up more points and more yards than anybody. Mario Williams, though, first overall pick of the draft, hasn't gotten a sack this season, but Gus, he's going to be a great player when this team finally gets its feet under it. You can see there the results of that difference, the change in that defense. They last in every conceivable category. That's where the problems for the Texans begin.
But when you look at the offense, there's one huge bright spot, and it's the play of David Carr.
Well, David Carr, you look over the course of his career, he's gotten better every year, and this year is no exception. You see there the touchdown-interception ratio, and continues to do very well this year. He's a guy that has really gotten better and has taken a lot of pressure. He's gotten sacked more than anybody in his career, during his career, but he's never complained, and that says a lot about the character of this guy, and you can see by those numbers, he's getting it done, and he's found Andre Johnson, a real weapon on the outside. Johnson is a guy that the defenses really must game plan for, so therefore David Carr has found a lot of different receivers. Also, Eric Moulds is on the other side of the field and really has taken some pressure off Johnson, but still, he's third in the NFL in receptions and yardage. They've got some weapons.
The Miami Dolphins won their first game of the season last week at home against the Tennessee Titans. Dante Culpepper did not throw an interception. Very positive sign. But offensively, the Dolphins have had problems protecting their star quarterback.
Well, that's where it begins. The problems with the Dolphins have been with Dante Culpepper's ability to throw the football, but he's been under duress the entire season. That offensive line has really not been able to pick up the pressure packages that the defenses have been presenting them. Now, Dante Culpepper is coming off a huge knee injury, but he is mobile enough to win games if they can protect him. You can't expect him to run for his life and carry the offense on his back. He's doing the best he can, but until they find a way to protect him and let him stand still in the pocket, they're going to struggle offensively. And you look here, this is that offensive line, Gus. These guys have not played very long together. They don't have many years in this offense, and at right guard, Damian McIntosh, it'll be the third guy at that position, and this is only their fourth game this season.
So it's the Texans and the Dolphins' second all-time meeting. That brings us to the tale of the tape. In the turquoise corner, the 1-2 Miami Dolphins. And in the blue corner, the 0-3 Houston Texans. All three losses coming by way of technical knockout.
Yes, this is going to be a great fight. I mean, these two teams, their strengths match up and their weaknesses match up. It's going to be fun to see which one can find their way. Yards a game for both teams is a problem, but I think, Gus, whoever can get the most pressure on their opponent's quarterback is going to get the knockout.
And now, the Dell direct game points.
Gus, I think it's important for the Miami Dolphins and Dante Culpepper to just stay mistake-free. If they play it close to the vest, run the football, they're going to be the guys who can win this football game. But on the other side, Houston, David Carr has got to be the leader of this football team. If he can stay on the field offensively, Gus, they could really turn the corner and take some pressure off of that defense that has struggled.
For your Dell Direct game points, log on to CBSSportsLine.com. Coming up, it's Miami and Houston from the Lone Star State. We'll have the starting lineups in the opening kickoff right after this. This is the NFL on CBS.
Feels like I'm having one now.
2.5 men.
I am this close to sticking my tongue in a light socket.
Tomorrow.
Catch the 4-time Emmy winner, A New Amazing Race, CBS tonight after 60 Minutes.
NFL Sunday Ticket brought to you by Bridgestone Tires. Passion for excellence.
Take away LaDainian, the Chargers got nothing.
Excuse me, Greg?
Yeah.
Has this ever been you? With NFL Game Day, help is on the way.
Flip over to Rich and the Gang for the best highlight show on TV. Watch NFL Game Day on NFL Network.
This Thanksgiving, live NFL games on NFL Network.
Need new tires? Get to the big Bridgestone rebate event for up to a $100 mail-in rebate on select Bridgestone Dueler tires, September 7th through October 7th. Only at your local participating Bridgestone and Firestone retailer. Wherever you see this Bridgestone sign.
You move,
Multiply your possibilities. Introducing Intel Core 2 Duo, the world's best processors.
Hockey's back, like you've never seen before. NHL Center Ice on DirecTV. Your favorite teams, your favorite players. Break out of the ordinary with up to 40 games a week of unbelievable action all season long. Just 4 payments of $37.25. Act now and score big. To order, call 1-800-GET-SPORTS today. NHL Center Ice on DirecTV.
Reliance Stadium in Houston, Texas, as the Miami Dolphins and the Houston Texans prepare for battle week 4 in the National Football League. First overall pick rookie Mario Williams, 8 tackles this season, goes after his first sack today when he faces Dante Culpepper and the Dolphins.
CBS Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the National Football League.
Nick Saban, 9-7 last year in his first season as the head coach of the Dolphins. His team beating Tennessee 13-10 1 week ago at home. On the other sideline, Gary Kubiak in his first year. It's been a rough one. 0-3, losing at home last week to Joe Gibbs' Washington Redskins 31-15. Miami won the toss, and they've elected to receive the football. Chris Brown will send it away. Wes Welker is back deep, folks. He needs 39 kickoff return yards to surpass Fulton Walker and Mercury Morris to become the Dolphins' all-time kickoff return leader. And here's Welker camping under it, and he'll start from the goal line. Wes Welker at the 20. Wes Welker over the 25, and he's dragged down at the 23-yard line, a 28-yard return. And that brings on Culpepper passing, and he's sacked on the first play of the game. Coming in for the sack for the Houston Texans, Glenn Earl. A loss of 10.
Watch this, Gus, as it looks a fake end around, and he doesn't bite. Glenn Earl manages to see the fake in time to catch himself. Dante Culpepper can't pull the ball back down and get it off fast enough. That's a great reaction play you see there by Glenn Earl.
Makes it 2nd down and 20. Ronnie Brown in the backfield. Wes Welker, the receiver, at the top of your screen. Out of the shotgun. Underneath, incomplete. Marty Booker, the intended receiver. Defensively for the Texans last week against Washington, the Texans allowed 495 total yards, 3rd most in team history. Weaver, Johnson, Payne, and Williams. The linebackers, Ryans leads them in tackles with 30, Greenwood and Orr. And in the secondary, Dante Robinson, the left corner, Sanders, the right corner, Earl and Brown are the safeties. 3rd down and 20. There's Mario Williams. Culpepper to the sideline. Caught. Welker. And he's dropped short of the 30-yard line. A 12-yard gain, but the Dolphins will not have enough.
Gus, that was all set up by the sack on the first play of the game. They had 3rd and 20. If they only had 3rd and 10, they would have picked that up. But that lack of success on 1st down really hurts them. The Dolphins are really struggling on 3rd down this year, and the reason is they're 3rd and 8+ overall for the year. They average over 8 yards per 3rd down.
Phillip Buchanan back deep as Donnie Jones sends it away. Buchanan backpedaling, starts from the 17. Buchanan looking for a seam, and Phillip Buchanan goes down at the 28-yard line. And that brings on the Houston offense. 55-yard punt, 12 receptions and yards. Ron Dayne is the tailback. 1st down and 10 at the 28-yard line for the Texans. Dayne and Jameel Cook in the backfield. Carr throwing on 1st down. Underneath, caught. Andre Johnson at the 40-yard line, and he picks up a 1st down. And that's a 13-yard gain. Let's take a look at the Miami defense. They have some veterans on this Miami defensive unit. Kevin Carter, Traylor, Holiday, and the great Jason Taylor. The linebackers, Zach Thomas is the keystone. Crowder and Spragan are on the outside. And in the secondary, Will Allen, the former Giant. Daniels, the other corner. He's playing with a tender ankle. Tillman and Hill are the safeties. 1st down and 10 at the 41. Cook and Dayne in the backfield. Carr rolling out of the pocket. Throws underneath, and that's Andre Johnson. He's dropped at the 41. Tackled on the play by Tavares Tillman. It's a 2-yard pickup.
I think this is a nice play by Carr. It's not much of a gain. It's only a 2-yard gain, but he still gets the ball out of his hands, gets a completion, and gets Johnson back into the game for his 2nd catch. And that also shows the Dolphin defense that they've got that in their game plan today. They're going to roll Carr back out on the bootlegs, and it's going to slow down the pursuit on the backside later in the game.
2nd down and 8. Ron Dayne. And Ron Dayne crosses the 45-yard line, and he gets to the 46. And how about Ron Dayne? And he told us during our meetings that he's obviously familiar with Gary Kubiak coming over from Denver, and he didn't even have a playbook at the beginning of training camp because he was so familiar with the offense.
He didn't need a playbook. He knew the offense, he knew the terms, he knew everything. In fact, here's a guy who's been here less than a month, and guys in the offense are asking him questions.
3rd down 5 at the 46. Jameel Cook, Ron Dayne in the backfield. Carr has crushed. Wow. Vonnie Holiday came out of nowhere and sacks David Carr, and that will force the Texans to punt it away.
And they got a little bit of confusion up front. You'll watch as the defensive line runs a stunt up front. They'll loop around. Holiday goes inside, and then the center steps down as the guard goes out, and they don't pick up the switch. The 2 offensive linemen get confused in there, and Holiday comes free.
Wes Welker back deep. Chad Stanley sends it away. Angles this one toward the far side. Welker from the 11 And he gets over the 20 up to the 23-yard line. A 51-yard punt and a 10-yard return. Back right after this. Welcome back. No score from Houston. Texans and the Dolphins. Dolphins with the football now. First down and 10 at the 22-yard line. Ronnie Brown, the single setback. And they give it to Brown over the right side. Brown stutter step, breaks a tackle, and gets to the 30-yard line. Stopped on the play by D'Amico Ryans. And it's a 9-yard gain.
Excuse me, guys. This is what the Dolphins want to do. They know that the Texans have struggled in the run game. If you can get Ronnie Brown out there. Now, the Texans had a guy in position to make the play, but Ronnie Brown makes him miss and gains upwards of 9 yards on the play. And this is a guy, second overall pick last year, showed up very big, and I think he's in for a good year this year. Certainly, they expect him to have a good day today against this Texan defense.
Brown averaging 3.4 yards per carry. They give it to him again. This time he goes straight ahead, right into a pile, and picks up the first down. So Ronnie Brown on the season, coming into this game, Steve, with 56 carries for 190 yards, a couple of touchdowns. His longest run of the season, 27 yards.
One of the things that Nick Saban likes to do is he'll give Ronnie Brown the bulk of the carries, but once he gets up to around 23, 25, 26 carries, he wants to make sure that he starts putting Travis Minor, usually Lee Suggs will probably come in and get some carries as well.
So Culpepper and Brown in the backfield. Culpepper in the shotgun. Brown in motion. Lines up in the slot. Dante throwing it into the flats. Justin Peele, the tight end, with the grab. And it's a gain of 7.
This is the Dolphin offense right here, Gus. Run hard, snap off a few, and then a quick pass, let a guy get 8 yards. And this is where the Dolphins have not been able to get during the regular season thus far. They can't get to 2nd and 2 or 3. They've been 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9 too much. And now, against this Texan defense, they're making some good progress on first down.
Second down to 3 at the 40. Ronnie Brown again, and Brown tackled from behind. Beautiful tackle by number 92, Anthony Weaver. No gain on the play.
We watch down inside right over the football. It's going to be Anthony Weaver coming in right across the screen, dives off the block, knifing down inside, and that's a called defense, Gus. Slant to the left and hope the ball is there.
Third down, 3 at the 40. Culpepper in the gun. Culpepper steps up in the pocket, in trouble, breaks contain, throws on the run, gives it to Brown, first down Miami. He loses it, but Welker is there. But that's the strength of a Dante Culpepper. He's not a small man, 13-yard gain, 6'4", 265.
Dante Culpepper looks like a wrestler up against the ropes, fighting his way out, gets out of it. I'll tell you guys, that right there tells you all you need to know. He is good enough to win games. There's been a lot of speculation about how good his badly injured knee was from last year. It's good enough to win.
First down and 10. Out of the offset eye, Ronnie Brown, the deep man. Here's Culpepper down the field for everything. Incomplete. Chris Chambers, the intended receiver, couldn't hold on and get 2 feet in bounds at the same time.
Tell you what, Gus, that's Dante Culpepper right there. He throws the ball down deep to his guys. He gets it a little too far out, working against Lee Suggs on the out, trying to get it to
working on Lewis
Chambers,
Sanders.
working on Sanders on the outside. You see there, Chambers just can't get both feet in. That's just a little too far for him, but you think now, that's a good play to throw in there, Gus. They've been pounding the ball, short passes, pounding the ball on the ground, air it out and keep the defense honest. Now go back to the run.
Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator for Miami. Former head coach in Buffalo and offensive coordinator in Pittsburgh. 2nd and 10. And we'll take a timeout. No score from Houston. Miami, the Texans, back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Burger King, who reminds you to have it your way. And by Budweiser Select, brewed longer for a bold taste that finishes clean. Expect everything.
And welcome back. No score. Miami, though, driving. 7th play of this drive for the Dolphins that started at their 22-yard line. 2nd down and 10. Marty Booker, the receiver, at the far side. Chris Chambers on the near side. Culpepper out of the shotgun. Culpepper steps up to the sideline, and it's caught. Chris Chambers with the reception, and he makes that catch right in front of Dante Robinson. And it's a gain of 12.
And this is the thing. Dante Culpepper inside has got plenty of time and watches Chambers works out. That's a nice route. Turns right around underneath the receiver, meaning he turned back towards the quarterback, and the ball was outside away from the defensive back, and it's a great catch. I mean, that's a tough throw to defend, Gus, when the quarterback has time to throw it.
1st down and 10 at the 37. Ronnie Brown in the backfield. Now Peel lines up as a fullback. They give it to Brown, and Brown running over the right side. Looked like a trap, and nothing doing. Maybe a yard on the play. So no score as we start the second quarter. Will Allen with the interception. And the Dolphins have it at the Texans 39-yard line. Second down and 3. Lee Suggs in the backfield. Andy McMichael, the receiver, at the bottom of your screen. And a whistle. Wow.
Delay. Offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Gus, to me, that's inexcusable. You had the end of the quarter. You had all kinds of time to get a play called and get it off. And they're standing there losing their play clock on the first play of the quarter. How does that happen to a pro football team?
So that makes it second down and 8 at the 43. Lee Suggs in the backfield with Culpepper. Underneath, and the ball is caught. Nice pass, nice catch. Marty Booker with the reception. He gains 11.
Well, Booker here's working against Sanders. He comes out. Sanders keeps his eyes in the backfield. You see a lot of guys do that because they're more comfortable, and it's, I think, a lot easier to get a break on the football, Gus, when you keep your eyes in the backfield because you can see the quarterback wind it up and start to throw it. You can see it was good coverage by Sanders, but the throw was too good.
First and 10 at the 32. Culpepper, play action, sets up deep in the pocket, pulls it down, and it's dropped. Seth Payne, 10th-year player from Cornell, is there. That's the second sack of the day for the Texans.
You watch here down inside, Seth Payne just keeps working, and this is the story with Seth Payne. He's just a guy that just never stops. He's a high motor, down defensive tackle. He's making the switch from defensive tackle to defensive tackle from nose guard in a 3-4, and it sounds easy, but it's a lot tougher than it looks.
A loss of 5. Ronnie Brown back in.
False start. Number 77 offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Damian McIntosh.
Well, Gus, that's the second one, and you put that along with a delay of game penalty and a sack, and all of a sudden the mistake-free football we talked about in the open is not happening for the Miami Dolphins. They wind up with a 2nd and 20 when they should have had a 3rd and 3 or a 2nd and 3.
Second down, 20 from the 42. Culpepper to the sideline. Great throw. And that is a catch. Marty Booker at the 25. 17-yard gain.
Holding. Number 77 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Damian McIntosh.
And he's the new right guard who's starting today in place of Steve McKinney. And also Joe Berger and all the other guys they've had at that right guard spot. And once again, the Dolphins are moved back even further.
2nd and 30 from their own 48. They have to go to the 22-yard line for first down. They throw it, Welker, and Wes Welker gets back inside Houston territory, and he's ridden out of bounds by Lewis Sanders, 7-yard gain. But the Dolphins are trying to figure out a way to get the ball back deep inside Houston territory. At one point, they had it at the Houston 32.
It's one of the rare times you see there's Mike Mularkey, the offensive coordinator of the Dolphins. Tough to keep calling plays that get run, and it goes from 2nd and 8 to 2nd and 15, 2nd and 20, 2nd and 30.
2nd and 23 now. Culpepper to the sideline. Ronnie Brown. Good catch. Nice running after the catch. He gets inside the 35. A gain of 11. Dante Robinson brings him down.
And that was a key play, Gus, because now Orlando Mare comes into the picture, and he's got a chance to put the Dolphins on the board here. Even after all the problems they had in this drive, they can come away with points.
So Orlando Mare needs this field goal to tie Pete Stojakovic for most 50-yard field goals in club history. He has 13. This from 52 yards away. It is good. Oh! Orlando Mare nailing it. And the Dolphins take a 3-0 lead over the Texans. Orlando Mare with the 52-yard field goal. And he ties Pete Stojakovic's record for most 50-yard field goals, 50 and 50 plus rather.
I'll tell you what, that was a good kick too. That was right down the pipe and would have been good from another 3 or 4, maybe 5 yards further.
Edel Shepard back deep. This one coming right into your living room. And Shepard brings it out. And Shepard taken down to the 25. First man to him, Travis Minor. Coming up, the Texans on offense right after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Ford. Bold moves, they happen every day. Dell, it's much more than technology. It's a Dell. And by Subway. Yummylicious sandwiches on freshly baked bread. Subway, eat fresh.
Welcome back. Dolphins with a 3-0 lead over the Texans. 11:51 to play in the second quarter. Texans start first and 10 of the 26. Jamil Cook, Ron Dane in the backfield. Eric Moulds, the receiver, at the top of your screen. And they throw it underneath. Jamil Cook with the reception. Zach Thomas knocks him out of bounds. Gain of 6 on the play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gus, Zach Thomas gets sideline to sideline still at this point in his career as well as anybody. I mean, this is a guy in his 11th year out of Texas Tech. Everybody kind of laughed when all the way back, and Jimmy Johnson made him the starter way back in the day. And he proved everybody wrong. Zach Thomas is still a great linebacker.
2nd and 4 at the 32. And they hand it off. Ron Dane trying to make something happen. Loose ball. Dolphins are saying they have it. But it looks like the Texans will hold on. Channing Crowder in on the tackle.
And we spoke to Ron Dane yesterday, and he was brought in from Denver because he worked with Gary Kubiak there in that offense. And it was interesting. He told us when you run this offense, when you're running back in this offense, you don't look at the defense so much. You look and you read, as you see there, he was down when the ball came out. But you read your offensive lineman. You don't look at the defense, you look at your guys. And that's a really strange thing to do for a running back.
3rd down and 3 at the 33. Dane again. And Ron Dane running over people this time. Gets to the 36-yard line. Zach Thomas throwing himself under the chariot. It's a gain of 4. Tonight on CBS, an episode of Without a Trace that breaks all the rules. Right after Cold Case tonight at 10, 9 Central on CBS. Again this season, America's most watched network. It's funny when you look at Ron Dane. Originally he was drafted by the New York Giants in the 1st round in the 2000 draft, 11th overall. That ball thrown up, and it's caught. Andre Johnson going up high, brings it down in front of Will Allen. A gain of 12.
That was a great catch by Johnson. That ball was behind him. He goes up and gets it. You watch here. He's the one on the line of scrimmage, comes out, takes a turn inside and goes up behind him. And that's, you know, that you can talk about great catches, Gus, but that's a fundamentally sound technique. Go up with both hands, turn your entire body, and catch the ball. Great job.
5 catches, 55 yards for Andre Johnson. First down from the 49. Ron Dane, look at the big fella. Flag thrown on the play. Dane gets to the 35. Ronaldo Hill stops him. If it stands, it's a 17-yard gain.
Now this is coming back. This came from way in the secondary.
Holding. Number 85 offense. 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
It's Kevin Walter.
That flag was thrown all the way back from the middle of the secondary, and it came flying all the way in. And those are frustrating things, particularly when your offense starts to get something going. Have it stopped by a holding penalty on a great run up inside.
And Walter trots off the field. So instead of a 17-yard gain, the Texans approach the line of scrimmage. 1st and 14 from the 45. Here's the reverse. Shepard. And he goes down at midfield. A lot of running. Jason Taylor with the tackle. Edel Shepard, 3rd year from San Jose State, picks up 6.
I'll tell you guys, you can see why they gave this to Edel Shepard. What a great move he makes as soon as he gets the football. Spins away from Jason Taylor. That's something that's really difficult to do. Then makes something out of nothing. Runs through Channing Crowder's block, gets back and gains a couple of yards on this play. And that was, I mean, that play had disaster written all over it for the Texans, but he makes something out of nothing.
2nd and 8 at the 49. Short drop underneath. That ball is caught, and it's Edel Shepard again. Will Allen brings him down. Dallas, Tennessee. Here's JB in New York.
Hey, Gus and Steve, Terry Glenn, 13, obviously his number today. Take a look, Drew Bledsoe back, plenty of time, back at the end zone, hooking up with Terry Glenn, his 2nd touchdown reception of the day, capping a 6-play, 40-yard drive, 14-3, Cowboys on top in the 2nd. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, 3-0 our score here. Dolphins with the lead on the road, trying to improve their record to 500. Dallas at Tennessee. Terrell Owens, 2 catches, 27 yards. Texans with the football, faced with the 3rd down and 1 at the 42.
And this is a key play, Gus. And this is one thing Gary Kubiak told us they've got to do better is stay on the football field. They've got all these 3rd and longs that they've overcome. Now they got a 3rd and 1. These are the ones you've got to get. There's no excuse for not getting a 3rd and 1. You've got to get this if you're the Texans.
Cook and Dane in the backfield. Now Cook in motion. Ron Dane, the single setback. And David Carr calls a timeout. First timeout call by Houston in the 1st half. And we will return right after this. Miami's never been more dangerous. Catch a new CSI Miami tomorrow at 10, 9 Central on CBS. Again, this season, America's most watched network. 8th play of the drive for the Texans that started at their own 26-yard line. Texans break the huddle. Cook and Ron Dane in the backfield. Now Cook in motion. 3rd down and 1. Empty backfield. Remember, David Carr can run. Quarterback sneak, and he gets it. David Carr leaning forward, gets to the 41-yard line, or make it the 40.
David Carr runs this play pretty well. Some quarterbacks just cannot get that quarterback sneak down. David Carr does a very nice job. The first thing is, Gus, get the exchange and hang on to the football. Then just follow the guys that have your jersey on and find a crack. That's all he needed. That's what he did. Some guys, I'll tell you, as simple as that looked, some guys can't do that.
1st down and 10 at the 40. Play action. Carr looks backside. Now he finds his receiver underneath, and it's caught. Beautiful reception. Eric Moulds, gain of 24. And Ronaldo Hill brings him down. And that's the first catch for the former Pro Bowler, Eric Moulds.
I'll tell you what, he has been a huge addition to this offense. He's got a lot of great football still in him, Gus, and you're right. There was a time when he was probably the best receiver in the league. He plays with a lot of aggression. He's a #1 receiver, a built, big, strong guy who loves to mix it up. He's a great addition, particularly with Andre Johnson on the other side.
First down at 10 at the 16. Here's Carr again, throwing on the run, incomplete. Mold's intended receiver. He had Zach Thomas right behind him. The Texans this season in the red zone, they've been there 5 times, coming up with 4 touchdowns and 1 field goal.
That is a good statistic. And I think that's another reason, another way that you can say David Carr has really gotten better. He does a lot better things with the football than he did early in his career. Doesn't make bad decisions, and that was a nice throwaway that he just made right there. Just get the football to the ground, come up and go 2nd and 10.
They hand it off to Ron Dane, and he is crunched. Channing Crowder, first man to him. And that'll bring up 3rd down and long. No gain on the play. The Texans have scored 4 touchdowns in their last 4 red zone possessions.
You see there, number 18, Sage Rosenfeld, looking at David Carr saying, be smart, be smart. He's right. It's 3rd and 10. Make sure you don't go 4th and 25 or turn the football over. This is field goal range. You can tie this game up no matter what happens. Just be smart with the football.
Sage Rosenfeld is a former member of the Miami Dolphins last season. 3rd and 10 at the 16. Here's Carr. Dumps it off to Dane. And Ron Dane goes down at the 13. Stopped on the play by Jeremiah Bell.
And that's okay right there. You put your hands out and say, okay, you see Sage Rosenfeld, they know that's a plus. That's a good drive. They went all the way down the football field, kept the drive alive, big plays mixed in there, good solid football. You know, this is an 0-3 team, Gus, as we mentioned in the open, that's trying to find itself. Every positive thing that happens is a good thing, and they're going to try and build on it.
Chris Brown 2 for 2 this season. This one from 32 yards away. Chad Stanley the holder. It's up and good. And we're tied at 3. 5:10 to go in the 2nd quarter. Dolphins, Texans, 3 apiece.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon Wireless and by Rocky Mountain Refreshing Coors Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Welcome back. Our score is tied at 3 apiece. 2nd quarter, Chris Brown ready to send it away as the Texans went on a 13-play, 60-yard drive, 32-yard field goal for Brown. Longest drive of the season for Houston. Wes Welker, the deep man, and Welker starts from his own goal line. And Welker up the sideline, goes out of bounds at the 25, ushered out of bounds by Lewis Sanders. A 25-yard return.
Gus, we spoke to Nick Saban yesterday, and did you see there Mario Williams waiting to go in for the defense? Going to stand on the sidelines here on 1st down. But this is an offense in Miami that really has struggled, and it's been the pass protection. And the first 5 minutes of our conversation was all about Dante Culpepper yesterday, but it wasn't about his poor play. It was about their inability to protect him. That's all Nick Saban could talk about.
First down at 10 at the 25. They hand it to Brown. Here's the reverse. Chambers. And Chris Chambers out of bounds at the 40. Stopped by Glenn Earl, and watch the block by Dante Culpepper.
You say he's not mobile. He may not be mobile. We spoke to him yesterday, Gus. He's big. Watch him as he gets out in front of Chambers, leading the way. He's as big as a guard. Watch him. And you see there, bang. That's C.C. Brown taking the hit from Culpepper. And I'll tell you what, if I'm a defensive back, I want no part of that guy.
First down and 10 at the 39. Here's the pitch, Ronnie Brown. And Brown goes down at the 44. And the tackle made by Ryan.
Watch, this is full speed. Watch how fast Culpepper runs as he turns the field. He can run. He may not run like he once did, but I'll tell you what, you tell me a quarterback there, maybe Mike Vick runs better than that, but when Culpepper turns it on, he's so tall and so big, he does move very well still, even with that massive knee injury he's recovering from.
2nd and 6 at the 43-yard line. Culpepper to pass now. Throws it out of the backfield, Ronnie Brown. And Ronnie Brown goes down at the 45. Shante Orr with the stop, 2-yard gain. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report. So here comes Dante.
We saw that the Houston Texans were 25th in the league. The Dolphins are 27th in the league at over 8 yards every 3rd down.
Dolphins 1 of 4 on 3rd down conversions. Up the sideline, beautiful catch. Marty Booker hauls it down, a gain of 18.
Working against Dante Robinson. I love when receivers do this. Watch, he goes up to the outside on the side. Watch as he runs. He's going to look back for the ball, but he doesn't reach for it until it's right there. Robinson has no chance to react to his hands because he puts them up so late. That guy can really catch. I've always liked Marty Booker. He snatches the ball out of the air. That's a tough pass to defend, but only if you execute it well. And they did.
1st down at the 37. Culpepper in trouble, and he's sacked. Sack made by Shante Orr. Also Malone in on the play. 3rd sack of the day. Given up by the Dolphins offensive line.
We'll start right here. Watch as the sacks today are coming against Dante Culpepper from the inside. Seth Payne got one, and now you see there, that's Alfred Malone getting inside. 2 defensive tackles have made it. I think the Dolphins are worried so much about the speed outside, they're forgetting that the big guys down inside can rush the passer too.
Loss of 5. 2nd and 15. Culpepper underneath, incomplete. Intended for Chambers. Standing right on the play, though, Lewis Sanders.
Dante Culpepper has been harried all season. Today is no exception. You see there, he takes the shot right on the first play of the game. Then he stands in. There you see as he pulls it down. That leads to the sack on this one. The pocket collapses before he can get rid of it. So it's a number of things. Once the receiver's covered, he has to pull it down and take a sack. Other times he has no time to throw it in the first place. But that's the most in the NFL. Dante Culpepper, 19 sacks so far.
3rd down, 15 at the 42. They need to go to the 27 for 1st down. Culpepper fires. Incomplete, nobody home. Marty Booker, the intended receiver, but he lost his footing.
Yeah.
And that one sails out of bounds.
Yeah, Booker just slipped at the top of the route and couldn't get out of it. And that's the thing, the quarterback in a deep route like this, he's got to throw the ball before Booker comes out. And you'll see there, he just loses it, trying to come out of the break, and the ball's already in the air. There's nothing Dante Culpepper could do.
Phillip Buchanan back deep as Donnie Jones tees it up from the 44. Left-footed punter got this one high in the air with a wobble, and it goes into the end zone. 42-yard punt, a 22-yard net. Coming up, Texans with the ball at their own 20. And welcome back. Our score is tied at 3 apiece. Gus Johnson, Steve Tasker with you from Reliant here in Houston, Texas. Texans defense playing much better today. Now they're trying to get something going with the offense as David Carr approaches the line of scrimmage, faced with the 1st down and 10 at his own 20. Cook and Dane in the backfield. Here's Dane. Ron Dane gets to the 22-yard line. Chopped down on the play by Vonnie Holliday. Make that Gatto.
You know, Gus, this is a fine line. We were talking about it during the break. Do you come out as the Houston Texans and go for it, try and score in the last 2 minutes of the game, or do you walk a little more conservative line and just wait for the halftime, go in 3-3 at the half? You know, this is an offense or a team that's been struggling, and you put your defense back out there with a turnover when you're going for it, and you may go in with a deficit or trailing.
Now Gatto in motion out of the backfield and a flag. Timeout called by Miami.
That's their first charge. Second charge, timeout.
1:19 to play in the first half. 3 apiece. Back after this. Coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report, join JB, Dan, Shannon, and Boomer for all the latest NFL scores and highlights. That's all coming up on the Sprint Halftime Report.
Nick Saban had to call a timeout just now. I think they had 10 guys on the field defensively, and you can't do that inside 2 minutes in the first half. You can see he's not very happy about it.
So here come the Texans, 2nd down and 8. They keep it on the ground. Ron Dane. Dane crosses the 25 and gets to the 26. 4-yard pickup. Fans here not happy that the Texans are playing this one conservatively, and they're allowing the clock to run down, faced with the 3rd down and 4 now.
Well, there you have it, Gus. I mean, we said it was a thin line, and we can see which side of that line Gary Kubiak's going to put his team on. He wants to go in at least tied. He doesn't want to do anything crazy. Even though David Carr is playing a pretty good first half, there's no reason to risk it at this point.
3rd down and 4. Ron Dane. Ronaldo Hill makes the tackle.
And now Miami will take a nice timeout with 30 seconds to go. They'll give Dante Culpepper a couple of plays offensively to get back on. And now you wonder why, if they didn't burn that other timeout, they'd have a little bit more time to make something happen, maybe get into field goal range.
Well, next Saturday, the Home Depot SEC on CBS puts on a double feature as the Razorbacks take on the Auburn Tigers. Then the Bayou Bengals battle the Florida Gators.
Miami Dolphins left with no timeouts after having to waste that first one, or the second timeout, just a few seconds ago. They're going to get the football back, and as Welker stands at about his 27-yard line, I mean, what they're going to have to do, Gus, is get this punt back in about 30 seconds to give Olindo Mari a chance to get the lead back for the Dolphins.
Remember, Wes Welker is a dangerous return man, and he knows his team needs good field position here.
They're set up for the return, Gus.
Chad Stanley punting from the 12. Welker at the 27. This one angled toward the near side. Welker, fair catch at the 35. Stanley doing a nice job of hanging that one high in the air. A 38-yard punt.
Well, you've got 22 seconds. It's going to take, you got to throw to the sidelines. The running game's out of the question, even to get into field goal range. So you're going to have to throw this ball and try and get a short pass, long run, or air it out and hope for a pass interference or a completed pass. But you're only going to have about 2 or at maximum 3 plays to get done, and that's if one of them's a spike. So if you get a first down, you can bet they're going to have to get up and spike the ball.
No timeouts remaining for Miami. Culpepper over the middle. Ronnie Brown. And he gets close to midfield.
Now they're going to have one spike and then a toss to the end zone.
Ryans with the tackle. And Culpepper spikes it with 4 seconds to go.
Well, there you have it. You know, by not having that timeout, that cost them one chance to get in field goal range, and then they could have spiked it and tried a long field goal if they could have gained another 15 yards. But as it is now, Dante Culpepper is going to have to loft it all the way to the end zone, see if they can make something happen.
They send trips to the far side of the field. And Culpepper stepping up, lets it fly all the way down. And it is incomplete. Dangerous play. And that's the end of the first half with the score of the Dolphins 3, the Texans 3. We'll be back with the Sprint Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. Back to Houston, Texas, and we have a tie game at halftime. Miami 3 and the Texans 3. Gus Johnson along with Steve Tasker. At the beginning of the game, when we set the stage, we talked about Houston's defense stepping up. They have.
They really have. They have given up some yards, but they have not given up very many points, and that's been the difference. And I think this game is still going to come down to Houston's ability to pressure Dante Culpepper and Houston's offensive ability to stay on the football field and keep Culpepper off of it. If they can continue to do that, and both teams have been equally successful, we're standing at a 3-3 tie, and it has been really a dead heat.
All right, let's take a look at the highlights. Make it the stats from the first half.
You see there, everything is just about dead even. The turnover is the difference. They got the one turnover by the Texans. In the bottom line, the third down, that's been huge. 13.5 yards every time the Miami Dolphins face a third down, and only 5.8 for the Texans. So both teams are going to be trying to be more successful on first and second down, Gus, and that's crucial in this game.
So there's Dante Culpepper. The Texans will have the football to start the third quarter. Edel Shepard back deep, ready to return it for Houston. Second half underway. Mare sending it deep into the end zone, and Shepard takes a knee. So David Carr and the Texans will start at their own 20-yard line. David Carr in the first half of 11 of 13, 97 yards, no touchdowns, an interception, and a controversial interception. He threw the ball to his best receiver, Andre Johnson, who had it just taken away from Will Allen. By Will Allen. First down at the 20. Cook and Dane in the backfield. Carr throws the ball underneath, and it's caught by Eric Moulds. Moulds gets to the 30-yard line, gains 9 yards. Zach Thomas.
Got a player down, one of the offensive linemen for the Texans, struggling to his feet. And that's Ephraim Salam. You saw on that last play defensively for the Dolphins, they had Jason Taylor backed out on the slot receiver, then ran him up to the line at the last moment to rush the passer, and the Texans were ready for that. Eric Moulds just ran a quick route right behind where Jason Taylor came from, and they completed the pass before Taylor could get to the quarterback.
2nd and 1 at the 29. Brad Bedell is his backup at left tackle. Here's the handoff. Some power running straight ahead for Ron Dayne. Ron Dayne, the 1999 Heisman Trophy winner, rushed for 7,125 yards, most in NCAA history. And he's getting a fresh start here in Houston, in the league for 7 years. First down at the 33. Carr wants to run it, and he gets maybe back to the line of scrimmage. Crowder in on the play.
Yeah, that was a tough play to complete. They had maximum protection for David Carr, but one problem, Gus, the quarterback may have time to throw the football as Carr did then, but they don't have enough guys in the secondary to get open. The Dolphins only bring 5 guys. They have 6 in coverage, but they bring him from odd angles, so David Carr has to look around to find where the opening is and didn't have time. 2nd and 10.
Play action. Carr rolls it out of the pocket, throws on the run. He's got Johnson, incomplete. Defensively, Ronaldo Hill there for Miami.
Yeah, Ronaldo Hill was on defense, but if this ball gets in the air and all of a sudden it's Andre Johnson, number 80 right there, he turns into the defensive back. Did you see Hill come in and watch Johnson? He just pushes him out of bounds. That ball, that could have been offensive interference, but the ball was so far out of bounds it was uncatchable, and therefore no penalty.
So it's 3rd and 10 at the 33. The Dolphins defense has not allowed an opponent to convert a 3rd and 10 plus this season. So let's see. Carr underneath. Ball is caught by Walter, but he's chopped down and he won't pick up the first down, or will he? Walter is saying yes.
It depends on the spot. I think it's going to be a hair short, and just as you said, they'd never given one up. They almost do it right here, and they almost got caught. They had Jason Taylor being blocked on the right side by the tight end, Daniel Owens, and he just barely gave Carr enough time to get that off. And that's a gotcha play by the Miami defense, getting Jason Taylor manned up one-on-one on the tight end. It's a good thing the play came open quickly.
Zach Thomas with a very nice tackle on that play, and the Texans get the first down. So how about that? Timely statistics here. Prior to that play, Miami had not allowed an opponent to convert on a 3rd down and 10+ this season. Their opponents 0 for 13, and finally this year they give one up.
How about my guy Gus being clairvoyant, calling that statistic out right before they give one up?
Now, you know what? I got a good stat guy, Russ Dillon from Baltimore, Maryland. Nothing to do with me. 1st and 10 at the 43. Cook and Dane in the backfield. Here's Carr, pump fake underneath, and it's broken up. Good defense. I tell you what, Will Allen is a ball hawk today.
That, you know why? Is because they're throwing at him a lot, because he's covering 2 great receivers in Eric Moulds and Andre Johnson. You see their Carr. The Dolphins come with 6 guys in pass rush. Carr sees it and knows he's got to get rid of it fast. When he tries to get rid of it a little too fast, a little inaccurate on the throw, and almost throws it right to Will Allen.
Allen already with an interception this afternoon. 2nd down and 10. Ron Dane, the single setback. And they give it to him. Dane with some room. Look at the big guy. Ron Dane down at the 45. Scanina and Tillman combining on the tackle, but it's a 12-yard pickup.
Well, we spoke to David Carr, and he said, you know, this is the first week where our running backs are not going to limit our play selection. Ron Dane in the backfield, been here a month. They know he can do it, and this is the kind of run they want. This is what they've been lacking, a consistent running game. But this is the first week David Carr told us that they can call any play they want and forget about whether the running backs know what to do.
1st down and 10 at the 45. Dane again breaking tackles, eluding defenders, and he's finally hauled down by Jason Taylor.
I'll tell you what, Gus, sometimes you'll see this Miami Dolphin defense. Their opponents will run a play, and the Dolphin defense is all over it. They get into an offense, will get into a certain position, a certain formation, and Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, and all those guys that have been in the league 100 years over there just know what's coming, and they just jump all over it, and that was one of those plays.
There's Zach Thomas. You're looking into the eyes of a great linebacker. 2nd and 10 at the 45. Play fake. Carr steps up, knocked away from behind, picked up. Jason Taylor, a one-man band. Taylor down at the 30. That's defense and a 19-yard return.
Jason Taylor working on the outside of the top of your screen. He's working against Brad Bedell, who's in for the injured Ephraim Salam just a few plays ago, and that's a strip, sack, fumble recovery. It's the trifecta for Jason Taylor. He almost went for the grand slam touchdown, but finally got dragged down. That's the kind of plays an experienced great pass rusher makes. You can't fight that if you're on offense, Gus.
Jason Taylor, 94.5 career sacks now. He's sacked 51 different quarterbacks. That's the first time he's sacked David Carr as they pitch it out to Ronnie Brown. He goes down at the 29. But Jason Taylor, what a great play. That's the kind of play that gets you in the Pro Bowl.
It really does. You know, we spoke earlier, we got a notification we didn't even mention. You see there, this is a guy that had injured ribs in the first half. His return was questionable, actually left the field and came back out. We didn't mention it earlier, but now obviously he felt well enough to come back and make the play that may give his team a chance to take the lead.
2nd down and 8 at the 29. Randy McMichael in motion. Marty Booker, the receiver at the near side. They throw it to McMichael, breaks a tackle, dips inside, and is dropped at the 20. But he picks up some nice yards after the catch. C.C. Brown gets him, but it's a gain of 10.
Well, Gus, now this is when the Houston Texans defense either steps up or it gets exposed once again. You know, this defense is last in the National Football League in every category, and I mean, Gus, they're last by a long way statistically. They're playing a new defensive scheme. They're playing a 4-3 instead of a 3-4. They're not very sure about it. This is the time when they've got to start showing improvement.
First and 10 at the 19-yard line. Here's Brown. And Ronnie Brown gets down to about the 17. Anthony Weaver brings him down.
And the Dolphins have been on good drives like this a couple of times today and ended up going backwards because of their penalties, but now they're in the red zone and their first trip today. There you see 6 trips, 3 TDs, 1 field goal.
Second down and 8. Ronnie Brown. Look at the power in his legs as he drives and is finally stopped at the 12-yard line. A 5-yard pickup. Dexter McCleon in on the tackle for Houston.
There you go, 4 touchdowns. That's 22nd in the league, Gus, and you know that's just something that you can say all you want about Dante Culpepper, and he's made some crucial mistakes early in the season down close, but that's a total team statistic, not just Dante Culpepper.
Third down and 3 at the 12. Culpepper to Brown. Nice catch, but he won't get the first down. He's tackled at the 11. They needed to get inside the 10. D'Amico Ryans, the rookie standout, with a nice tackle.
And I'll tell you what, Gus, this is a win for the Texan defense. It's a stop after a turnover down in their own end, and they're going to force the field goal attempt. You got to feel good about it if you're the Texans.
Brings on Olindo Mare. He's nailed one from 52 yards today. This one will be from 29 yards out. And it's good. So the Dolphins take the lead. 7:55 to play. Third quarter. Miami goes up 6-3. You're watching the National Football League on CBS Sports. Yesterday, Nick Saban told us that he needed his great players to make big plays. That's what Jason Taylor did, and all of a sudden the Miami Dolphins have a 3-point lead. Mare sends it away. Line drive kick. This one goes into the end zone, and Shepard will take a knee. David Carr will start from the 20 once again, down by 3.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines, proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 41. Chrysler, inspiration comes standard. And by Miller Lite and the men of the square table. Good call.
Welcome back, 6-3 Miami. David Carr and the Texans offense back on the field, starting from their own 20. Look at the total yards. But turnovers a problem. Miami has scored all 6 of their points off turnovers. First and 10 at the 20. They hand the ball off. Gatto. And Jason Taylor standing him up. Make that Matt Roth standing him up.
You know, a moment ago, Gus, we kind of teased about how the experience of the Dolphins is up front. Look at this, 16 years, 13 years, 12 years. I mean, that's a lot of years experience in the league. And the normal career, the average career is 3.5 years. So these guys are something special up front for this Dolphin defense, and they use them to their fullest potential.
Second down and 9. Cook in motion out of the backfield. Here comes the blitz. They pick it up. Somebody's open, and it's Johnson. Johnson knocked out of bounds at the 32, catching that one in front of Will Allen. A gain of 11, first down.
Gus, you want to look at pass protection in the backfield there. David Carr had Zach Thomas coming right up at him. Watches Zach Thomas right here, comes on the blitz, actually at the top of this, and bang, Sam Gatto whacks him and puts him right on his behind. That's pass pro.
Andre Johnson, 6 catches, 66 yards. 1st and 10. Short drop. That one knocked down. Will Allen again, intended for Johnson.
I'll tell you what, Gus, Will Allen is all over Andre Johnson today. They are going at it at the top of your screen. Watch as he comes in. It's a nice route. And I'm telling you what, Will Allen just jumps that route. And you can bet that if Gary Kubiak sees that, or if somebody upstairs sees that, they'll give a little pump fake, and Andre Johnson will go deep.
2nd down and 10 at the 32. Here's Carr again to the sideline. Incomplete. Intended for his tight end, Jeb Putsier. Ronaldo Hill covering.
Once again, Gus, 3rd and 10 for the Texans. And Carr had him out there and just can't get this ball over the underneath coverage and down beneath the deep coverage. That's a tough throw to get in, particularly with any velocity, and it's just well defensed.
3rd down 10 at the 32. They need to go to the 42 for 1st down. Cook and Gatto line up in the eye. Carr pulls it down underneath Gatto, and he goes down immediately. Zach Thomas with the tackle at the 35, and the Texans will have to punt.
Well, the crowd doesn't like that too much, although, you know, David Carr was not going to get that with his legs. There was too much traffic in front of him. He was not going to run for the 1st down, so he decided to let somebody try and catch it and break a tackle, maybe make something happen. It was a roll of the dice. It didn't pay off. It was still a pretty smart move.
Chad Stanley punting from the 21-yard line. Gets away a nice one. Nice hang time. Welker won't get a chance to return it, as he fair catches it inside the 20, a 46-yard punt. Welcome back. Miami with the lead. And so far, the young fella, Mario Williams, struggling. No tackles today. Looking for his 1st sack on the season. Eventually, it will come. 1st and 10 at the 18. And here's Ronnie Brown. He goes to the 23.
And we spoke to Mario yesterday, and as you see there, he's on the sidelines on 1st down, and he knows, and it's not fair that, you know, defensive ends, they can play great on 1st and 2nd downs and be one of the best in the league, but if they don't get sacks, everybody thinks they're not doing their job or things are going bad for them. And you know, he's smart enough to realize that, and he's going to take time for him to get in there and get his sack. But once he does, Gus, I think the monkey will be off his back.
2nd and 6 at the 22. Culpepper, double clutch. And that one thrown short, intended for Chris Chambers. Dante Robinson covering.
You know, we spoke to Mario Williams about this game today, and he said, you know, he got called out by Gary Kubiak this week. Said he hadn't played well, and he acknowledged that, but he also said it's fun, because the people here in Houston will bring letters by his house and stick them on his doorstep. He's gotten so many positive responses from the people here in Houston. It's really made him feel comfortable and helped him to stay strong.
3rd down and 6 at the 22. Dolphins 2 of 7 on 3rd down conversion. Culpepper with time, and he's hit just as he throws it.
Looked like Indy Kalu
comes up with the tackle. Kalu disrupting the rhythm of Dante Culpepper.
Yeah, Kalu coming over from Philadelphia this year as a free agent. You see him go up high, then comes back, swims under, and catches Culpepper just as he starts to release the ball. And that's what happens when you get in 3rd and long, Gus. Guys have to run so far to get open. You got to wait on them, and it takes time to give up the sack.
Donnie Jones ready to punt it for the 4th time. Standing at the 7. Line drive. Sends Buchanan back deep to the 31. Buchanan chopped down at the 29. Great special teams. Travis Minor, 47-yard punt, a 1-yard loss. Back after this.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by CareerBuilder.com. Visit the largest job website, CareerBuilder.com. A better job awaits. And by Sprint. Be a better fan with NFL Mobile, only from Sprint.
Power up.
This week on NFL.com, Shannon Sharp talks about the tight races in all the divisions and how no team is running away with it this year. Read more about it on NFL.com. Texans take over 1st and 10 at the 30. Offense needs to get something going now. They've struggled with their rhythm. Here's Carr. Looking backside. He's got an open man. Didn't get to him soon enough. And Jason Taylor hauls him down once again. 4th sack of the day. 2nd for Taylor.
Yeah, this is a coverage sack, Gus. As Carr comes out, he just tries to go through his progression, has to step up in the pocket. Jason Taylor, when he gets loose, he's going to run you down faster than you can get rid of it. You see there as he spins out of Ephraim Salam, who's back in the ball game after being out for a few plays. Get their regular left tackle back in there, but it still leads to a sack by Jason Taylor.
Texans have struggled in the 3rd quarter as they hand it off to Dane. And Ron Dane powers his way to the 34-yard line.
One of the things we haven't spoken about, Gus, is that Dom Capers, the former head coach of the Houston Texans, is the defensive signal caller for the Miami Dolphins. And one of the things he's brought to the team is their ability to move that guy there around. Jason Taylor can stand up and play with his hand off the ground. He can also move up onto the line of scrimmage, and there's Dom Capers. He uses that 3-4 defense to help hide Jason Taylor and give him different opportunities to rush the passer.
3rd down 8 at the 32. Carr throwing to the sideline. Moulds breaks it back inside, and Moulds goes down at the 44. Great throw. Beautiful catch. Tillman with the tackle. A gain of 28.
And I'll tell you, Gus, if they're not going to pressure David Carr, he's going to pick him apart. He's got a nice rifle arm. You see there the nice out route by Moulds. The ball's in the air before his head comes around. It's a great anticipation throw by Carr, right on the money.
1st down and 10 at the Miami 40. Cook, Dane in the backfield. Here's Ron Dane. And Ron Dane gets to the 35. Scanina with the tackle. Vikings at Buffalo today. Here's JB.
Hey, Gus, talk about back to the future. Peerless Price, former Buffalo Bill, back with Buffalo. Take a look at this toss here. Has to gather J.P. Lossman's low throw. Poor tackling. Great highlight. All of that was just 8 yards. His first touchdown of the season. Buffalo on top, 14-6. Back to Gus and Steve.
All right, JB, Peerless Price, you can always go home. Play action. This one dumped off. Ron Dane tripped up by Zach Thomas. Actually, Zach Thomas with a leg whip on Ron Dane.
Number 54 of the defense. 10-yard penalty. 1st down.
And I'll tell you what, I don't know if that was the right play by Zach Thomas, but he didn't know if he was going to gain 10 yards, but he did trip him, no question. Ron Dane was going to get out of this tackling. Watch right there. Just hooks him. You can't do that. And I'll tell you what, Gus, it's just reflex. I mean, you're trying to tackle a guy, Zach Thomas. He doesn't miss very many tackles, and he won't go down without a fight. He's going to get a piece of you.
1st and 10 at the 19. Dane, the deep man. Play fake. Carr throws on the run. Ball is caught Andre Johnson, and he's knocked out of bounds. Ronnie Holiday knocking him out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you what, Gus, this is a big drive for the Texans. They're deep into the 3rd quarter. This is the first time they've been there this half. They've got a nice drive going here, but they're doing it mostly through the air with a little bit of complement for the run game. It's important now, Gus, that they go for the touchdown, but don't make the huge mistakes. Stay smart, just like they've been able to do.
2nd and 8 at the 17. Underneath, that ball is caught. It's like Walter. Tillman wraps him up.
That's Kevin Walter right there. He's the free agent that came over from Cincinnati. He's a big inside receiver. This is exactly what he's good at. Give him a tough, tight, fast throw inside. He'll catch it with his body and get the 1st down. And that was a rifle by David Carr, and that is a great, great play for the 1st down close.
1st down and goal at the 8. Rondane. And Rondane gets to the 5. Zach Thomas again. Along with Kevin Carter. 3-yard gain.
You know, it's interesting. They have one wide receiver on the field, and it's Eric Moulds. And I think one reason is because Eric Moulds is an extremely good blocker. Now they'll send Andre Johnson back onto the field along with Kevin Walter, and they pull out Jameel Cook and Daniel Owens, or Owen Daniels, because they want to. This looks like a passing formation. They're going to spread the defense out and make them cover their entire width of the field, Gus.
Rondane in the backfield. Here's the big fella. Dane leaning forward. And he's down at around the goal line. And that's the end of the third quarter. 6-3 Miami. Houston knocking on the door. Will return after this message and the word from your local station.
A few moments ago, Gary Kubiak, head coach of the Texans, brought his guys over the entire offense and is revving them up. You see their former head coach of the Green Bay Packers, Mike Sherman, looking on. There's no question, Gus, this is the biggest set of downs of the Texans season thus far.
Third down goal at the 1. Out of the eye. Rondane, now the bootleg. What a fake. Carr, touchdown. Texans.
Gus, that was a sensational play fake by David Carr. What great poise when he turned the corner. They did not know where the football was. He hides it on his stomach, takes one nice walk stick right there, styling it in, and watch, he throws it right into the stands.
And the extra point is up and good. The Houston Texans have turned it over twice, but they've taken the lead. 10-play drive, 70 yards, held it for 5:01. We've got a ball game in the Lone Star State. Welcome back. Texans have taken a 10-6 lead. David Carr with the bootleg. And he gets in the end zone on a great play-action fake. Wes Welker ready to return it. And Welker will take a knee. Chris Brown nailing it. Let's take another look at the David Carr touchdown.
Well, you're going to see the play fake. Watch the running back come in, and it looks like he's got the football, and David Carr really sells the fake as well. Watch the running back fold his arms and run hard to the line of scrimmage, try and get in the end zone, and look at the corner down here. He is completely out of it. That's Will Allen, who just got caught peeking inside.
So now Dante Culpepper and the Miami Dolphins offense has to respond. Culpepper out of the shotgun. In trouble. Breaks a tackle and is sacked. Is that Williams? Mario Williams! His first sack as a member of the Houston Texans. And there is a gorilla. Did you see that gorilla that just jumped off his back?
He is excited, man, and so are the crowd. The crowd's going crazy as well. I'll tell you what, Gus, watch him as he comes up. Culpepper spins out of the sack by the secondary, and Williams is right there to engulf him. Right there.
And Williams needs to give a nice steak dinner to D'Amico Ryans, because he's the man that provided the pressure. Culpepper trouble again, sacked again. Is that Williams again? Williams and Ryans.
They come in bunches, Gus. Watch as he comes off. He's working there against Alabi, gets underneath and falls right there. And you're right, Gus, that's at least a half a sack between him and Ryans. And I'll tell you what, when things turn, Gus, all of a sudden, a team that's 0-3 has a huge home field advantage here with the lead in the fourth quarter.
6 sacks on the afternoon for the Houston Texans. 3rd and 20. Culpepper fires down the field. Incomplete. Sanders, great coverage. Marty Booker, the intended receiver. And the Dolphins will have to punt it away. But how about Mario Williams? He's got a pep in his step now.
Oh, man, we talked to him yesterday. And you're right, Gus. He just needed the one thing to get over the hump, to make him feel like he was contributing and was getting something done. And he did it that series. He really did. It was a good sack on the first play, and then the second one he got in and finished off the sack.
Dolphins have to punt. Donnie Jones in the end zone. Philip Buchanan back deep. And Buchanan from midfield. Buchanan bounces outside. Buchanan trying to turn the corner, can't, and is dropped at the 42-yard line. Stopped by Ronaldo Hill. But the key play on the drive, Mario Williams with the first sack of his career. Mario Williams, first 3 games, no sacks. Last drive, a sack and a half. So how about that? And Mario, very happy man.
Yeah, and they were, it's nice to see. You knew he'd be happy, but his teammates are all over him too. They know how big a moment that was for him. And we spoke to Ron Dane, and the one thing he noticed, he's been here less than a month. This is a team that's together. They like each other, and they're getting better. They like the atmosphere. It's a good place to play. And I think that was further proof of it. Those guys were happy for Mario.
Texans with their best starting field position. Carr drops it off to Dane out of the backfield. And Ron Dane goes down at the 37. Arizona and Atlanta facing each other today. Here's JB.
Defense doing the job here, Gus. Take a look at Kurt Warner's pass being tipped by linebacker Michael Boley. D'Angelo Hall there with the pop-up. He takes it 36 yards to pay dirt. Only 2 touchdowns in this game are by interception returns for scores. 22-10 Falcons in the fourth. Back to Gus and Steve.
A little Deion Sanders primetime dancing in the end zone. Falcons trying to bounce back after that big loss on Monday in New Orleans. 3rd and 6. Carr down the field for Johnson. Oh, he stops and somehow makes the catch between 2 Miami defenders. That ball thrown short. A gain of 30. Travis Daniels and Tavares Tillman couldn't bat it down.
David Carr takes a shot when he throws this. It comes out wobbling. This is the reason it's short. And you know what? Nick Saban said his big play guys had to make big plays. All of a sudden, the other side of the field, the big play guy for the Texans, Andre Johnson, comes up with an enormous catch down close. And all of a sudden, the Texans don't look like an 0-3 club.
8 catches, 98 yards for Johnson. Ron Dane. And Dane goes down at the 4-yard line. Ron Dane has been criticized an awful lot during his career with the Giants, with Denver, but he looks like he's finally starting to turn the corner after 7 years with Coach Kubiak.
And I think a lot of the time in New York, he was asked to do things in an offense that that didn't play to his strengths. He's a runner a lot like Jerome Bettis, like a big guy like Jamal Lewis. Get him inside the tackles, let him bounce around and keep his feet a little bit, push the pile a little bit, and then later on he'll break a big one.
2nd and goal at the 4. Dane again. Leans forward and gets to the 3.5. Carter, Zach Thomas in there. There's Gary Kubiak. Started his NFL coaching career with the San Francisco 49ers in '94. He spent the last 11 seasons as the offensive coordinator of the Denver Broncos, winning 2 Super Bowls. He's from Houston, Texas. Played collegiately at Texas A&M, came out in '83, and he was drafted by the Broncos in the 8th round.
Yeah, he told his team and David Carr, if you do the work, this offense is going to work. Just do the work and trust me.
3rd and goal at the 3. Molds the motion man. Carr throws it in the air for Johnson. Touchdown. How simple can it get?
You said it, Gus. That looked all too easy. And on a day when Will Allen has really played very well, he's going to remember this day for the 2 plays he missed. The bootleg when he got sucked in on the play fake, and on that play right there to the corner of the end zone when he got beat by Andre Johnson. You see here, the pass is in the air, and that just looks too easy.
So David Carr finds his favorite target, and the Texans take a 16-6 lead. Andre Johnson, 9 catches, a bucko one touchdown, and they are rocking and rolling in Houston.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Geico, where 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Vonage. And by Dockers San Francisco.
Welcome back. Texans take a 17-6 lead. Andre Johnson with the catch. 100+ receiving yards in 5 of the last 6 games. Home games, rather.
That tells you, Gus, there's no cooking like home cooking.
Houston trailed 6-3 going into the 4th quarter. The Texans with the lead now as Welker takes a knee. But how about this graphic? The Texans trail after 3 quarters. They are 3-36. Leading right now, 17-6. How about this graphic, folks? Last season or this season, 483 yards, only 133 today. Ronnie Brown taken down quickly. That's Ryans, the middle linebacker. A loss of 1.
I'll tell you what, they love D'Amico Ryans. They think he is going to be one of the best middle linebackers in the league. He's came out, he's a rookie, earned the starting job in a 3-4 defense. That's really difficult to do.
Culpepper over the middle. Randy McMichael with the catch. He picks up the first down. As he gets to the 33, Dante Robinson tackles him, but it's a gain of 14.
You know, Gus, the first thing you think about when you see Miami complete a pass like that here as they go no huddle is the Texans can't turn it down. They've got to keep the volume turned all the way up defensively and stay aggressive.
1st and 10 at the 33. Here's the screen. Caught. Ronnie Brown gets down the sideline, tiptoes out of bounds at the 41-yard line in front of Dante Robinson. A gain of 8.
It's a smart play call right there. You know the defense of the Texans is kind of hyped up. Use their speed. Let them come in on the quarterback. Get some penetration. That way they'll be a little more hesitant next time thinking about that screen pass you just got them for. But the defense is still got to be strong and aggressive, Gus. They can't turn it down now. The Dolphins are still in this game.
2nd and 2 at the 41. Here comes a blitz. Culpepper over the middle. Marty Booker catches it on the run. Gets out of bounds at the 45. Dante Robinson hanging all over him, but Marty Booker picks up 14.
And this is where I think, Gus, Dante Culpepper is going to kind of help the Dolphins. You can do this when you've got a guy who's been in the league a while. Nothing's going to fluster Culpepper. He's been there before and knows how to act in these kind of situations. This is not a young quarterback out there, even though he's not very long in this offense.
Welker makes the first man miss. And Wes Welker, nice run after the catch, gets to the 37. Dexter McCleon, Glenn Earl combining on the tackle. It's a gain of 8.
I'll tell you what, Welker, you put him out in space and get the ball in his hands, and Nick Saban knows the guy's a great return man. Put him in a little space, give him a slot, and put the ball in his hands and see what he can do. You may get a big play, and that was a really good first down play.
Now Culpepper underneath to his tailback. Ronnie Brown slides, gets up, and goes down inside the 30. Ryans brings him down, but it's a 10-yard gain. And just like that, Miami has marched the ball right up the field.
It didn't look, he did go down, no question, but he has to be touched once he's down. There's a question as to whether he was. As you see there, Lewis Sanders is down on the field after that play finished up.
Take a timeout. 7:25 to play in the 4th. Texans up 17-6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Diet Pepsi. Live NFL. Drink Diet Pepsi. And by the 200 horsepower Volkswagen GTI. Make friends with your fast.
And welcome back. Lewis Sanders shaken up on the last play, but he walks off the field on his own. May have injured his lower back. He's trying to stretch it out right now. What is that, Steve called? Is that the lumbar?
I think it's the low back. I'm pretty sure.
I like that. Okay.
I'm going to go out on the limb and say it's the low back.
So here comes Dante Culpepper. 1st and 10 at the Texans 28. Culpepper hands it off. Ronnie Brown with running room. Brown tackled inside the 10. Great call. Derek Johnson gets him, but it's a 19-yard gain.
Tough to make a running play work when you've got a corner blitz on, and the corner just couldn't get there in time, and that's Ronnie Brown's speed that just pays off for the Dolphins. What a great run.
11 carries, 44 yards for Brown. 1st down and goal at the 9-yard line for the Miami Dolphins. Marty Booker, the receiver at the top of your screen. Welcome in the slot. Here's Chambers, near side, drops it.
I'll tell you, Gus, all of a sudden, it's gotten awfully loud down in that end of the field. I mean, this is a crowd that has really come alive now, and Dante Culpepper in this no huddle is really having trouble communicating with the guys outside. And it's more of a thing that gets you keyed up as a player because it puts you in a little bit of desperation. You're not really sure exactly what the play is unless you hear it from Dante's lips, and they can't hear a thing.
Here's Culpepper. Underneath, Ronnie Brown. Brown dives forward. Out of bounds inside the 5. Glenn Earl is there. So that will bring up 3rd down and goal at about the 4-yard line.
So I guess I think this is almost 4-down territory. Even though we're still got a lot of time left in the 4th quarter, you're still 2 scores down. You see Ronnie Brown trying to reach it in, but they've got some good play calling down here. They've got to be able to run the football down close, but I think if you're going to go for it, you can run the football on this play. If you're not, throw it.
Ronnie Brown, a single setback. McMichael in motion. Here's Culpepper looking. Culpepper throws incomplete. Intended for Chambers.
Great defensive play, good pressure. You're right. I called it, Gus. They threw the football because they're not going to go for it on 4th down as Murray comes in to kick the field goal. And I'll tell you what, that's just the strength of Dante Culpepper right there. And he almost got caught throwing the pick, trying to avoid the sack. And that would have been the end of it.
So Murray nails the field goal, a 22-yarder. He's 3 for 3. 52, 29, and 22-yard field goals. 17-9. 5:41 to play in the 4th. Culpepper sacked 5 times, hurried 11 times, knocked down 13 times.
And they also look pretty good in that no huddle. They look very good, knocking off big chunks of yards, getting at their playmakers. Ronnie Brown was a huge factor in that drive as well. And now it comes down to the Miami defense, and we saw at the end of the 1st half, Gus, how the Texans went very conservative inside of 2 minutes and didn't do anything crazy. I think you're going to see a lot of that in this drive as well for the Texans. Don't look for them to be throwing this football all over the yard. As you see Jason Taylor, that smelling salts he's got there, that little ammonia capsule, making sure his head's right in the right place.
Nick Saban trying to keep his guys motivated on the sideline. A lot of time left in this game. Miami defense has to get the ball back. The Texans offense has struggled this afternoon, but on their last couple of drives, they've managed to move the football and get it in the end zone.
They've done it very well, and this is a little different drive. You can see that the Texans are going to have a couple of things on their mind. They're going to want to stay in bounds, take their time, use all the play clock, but still be aggressive offensively. Now, I said a minute ago they were very conservative at the end of the 1st half. I don't think they can afford to do that with 5 minutes and 40 seconds left, even with an 8-point lead.
Both teams have 3 timeouts. Murray drives it deep into the end zone. And Shepard brings it out. Dangerous play. Shepard gets to the outside. He's got a blocker. And Shepard all the way to the 35. Had to be tackled by Orlando Murray, the kicker. A 41-yard return.
I'll tell you what, Gus, I had my hands on top of my head wondering what he was doing bringing this football out, but he knew something I didn't. It's a great job. He runs right up the middle of the coverage and then bounces it to the outside. The coverage has to converge on him, and then when he bounces it out, his blockers are in perfect position. What a great and gutsy return at this point in the game.
Now the offense has to move the ball, though, for the Houston Texans. 1st and 10 at the 35. They pitch it. Dane. And he won't go anywhere. Turn your pop culture knowledge into gold. Monday, watch the class at 8/7 Central and solve the challenge at AOL.com/goldrush. Channing Crowder with the tackle on that last play, and Ron Dane lost a yard. That'll make it 2nd and 11 at the 34.
At this point, Gus, I always like the misdirection. We saw it earlier in the game where Carr would, and we saw it on the touchdown early in the third quarter, early in the fourth quarter, where he'd fake the handoff and bootleg out. Look for him to do that perhaps in this situation because the Dolphins are really pursuing hard.
Carr to throw. Up the sideline, caught, molds out of bounds. 1st down, Houston. 15-yard gain.
Gus, we've been covering games here in Houston and David Carr ever since he was drafted, and I'll tell you what, all that hard work and all the bad teams that he's been on, all the sacks that he's taken, and the things that he has learned are really coming through this year. I think it's really fun to see this guy on a team with some playmakers outside and him get a chance to stand up in the pocket and make some throws. It's really a lot of fun to see.
David Carr, 22 of 28, 230 yards. Ron Dane. And the Texans have had a huge 4th quarter.
And look here, it started off, I think it's the 1st or 2nd play of the quarter as David Carr, great play, fake ends in the touchdown. Then right after that, a couple of sacks right in a row, and then the huge play, a huge catch by Andre Johnson down close on this throw as Carr stands in the pocket and makes it, and then what looked to be an easy touchdown to Andre Johnson to end that drive, and all of a sudden, Houston is all over the Dolphins in this game and in total control at that point.
2nd down and 8 at the 49. Eric Moulds, the receiver at the top of your screen. They go to Johnson down the field, incomplete. No flags on the play. How about those Jets, Jets? Here's JB.
Hey, Gus, a penalty against Indianapolis helped the Jets to come on and score here as Kevin Barlow takes it 5 yards, 2nd of the game. Jets on top, 21-17. You see the time remaining in the 4th. Back to Gus and Steve.
Coach Mangini is making a statement, a quiet statement.
Yes, he is. It's not all that quiet either. I mean, everybody's going to hear that statement across the league if they beat Indianapolis, even if it is at home.
3rd down and 8. Ron Dane gobbled up. No gain on the play. Lonnie Holiday. So now the plot thickens. Texans have to punt it away. Miami calls a timeout. Let's go back to JB for an update in New York.
All right, Gus and Steve, take a look here. Jake Delhomme hooking up with Drew Carter. 4-yard touchdown strike. 2nd toss of the game for Delhomme. 14-10 Carolina. 17. Make that 7:15 left in regulation. Good ball game. Back to Gus and Steve.
So the Texans now ready to punt. Wes Welker will stand deep for Miami.
And they took a quick timeout. The Dolphins did after that last play. I don't know if I go along with that with 3 minutes and 50 seconds to go. I might want to hang on to that timeout. They've got 2 left.
And the 2-minute warning. They have 2 timeouts and the 2-minute warning.
And they're going to go for the block here. They're going to try and knock this punt right off his foot.
Chad Stanley, high snap, handled, pops it high in the air. Beautiful spiraling punt. Welker lets it go over his head. Oh, and it gets in the end zone. It gets in the end zone, so the Miami Dolphins will start from the 20, a 51-yard punt, a 31-yard net.
And you can bet that you're going to see the no huddle from Miami and Dante Culpepper. And they got to feel pretty good about their chances the way they did it on their last drive to get the touchdown, or excuse me, the field goal a moment ago. But I think right now, Gus, the Texans have got to put pressure on Culpepper, make him throw the football right now. Do not let him drop back and get a big chunk of yards with a throw.
Culpepper in the shotgun. Here comes the blitz. Underneath, Randy McMichael with the grab. And McMichael gets to the 27. Ryans with the tackle. A gain of 7. Dante Culpepper quickly getting his men up to the line of scrimmage. He'll go no huddle. Marty Booker at the top of your screen. Here's Culpepper again. Underneath, incomplete. Intended for Wes Welker in the slot.
I'll tell you, Gus, we've spoken a lot about how Houston Texans defense has struggled this year. I'll tell you what, if you want to know how they can improve immediately, one thing is they've got to tackle better. You've seen the Dolphins a lot of times make one guy miss, or a guy goes flying by without making the tackle, and the Dolphins have gotten a lot of extra yards after making one guy miss. A good defense means the first guy to the football makes the tackle. The Texans have not done that today.
3rd and 3 at the 27. Dolphins 2 of 10 on 3rd down conversions. Here's Culpepper over the middle. It's dropped by Marty Booker.
Wow, that was going to be a huge play. Marty Booker dropped that ball, and he had a chance maybe to take this to the house. You see there, as they run a rub over the middle, and the defenders have to dodge the receiver. That's Dante Robinson that gets picked off by the other receiver, Chambers. And that was going to be an enormous play that was dropped.
And a timeout has now been called by Nick Saban. Don't forget, coming up next, we've got more here on CBS Sports. The Patriots take on the Bengals. Meantime, the Browns battle the Raiders, and the Jaguars tangle with the Redskins. Check your local listing.
You talk about this, you see down on the football field, Nick Saban taking that time out. He wants to make sure that his offense is on the same page, and that's one of the problems even in the 2-minute. You know, on offense, you got to have 11 guys working the field, Gus. They've got to be right there together. On defense, all you need is one guy to make a play or to see the play. Offense is always more difficult, and it's always exaggerated in the 2-minute, because not only do you have to run the play right, you have to work the clock right and also communicate very well. As you see there over on the ground, that's Chris Chambers, 84. Seeing now, he must have a cramp in his leg. And that's something that, Gus, you can never anticipate. I mean, this is a 2-minute drill. You got to have your best guys on the field, and their best guy in their offense is sitting over there with a cramp in his leg or some other malady, and that's something you can't prepare for, and that hurts.
So here we go, 4th down and 3 at the 27 for Culpepper. Derek Hagan in the game. Culpepper over the middle. Welker with running room. Welker breaks a tackle. Wes Welker down at the 40. The saving tackle made by Glenn Earl. A 29-yard gain.
I'll tell you what, Wes Welker leads the National Football League in total yards from scrimmage, return yards, special teams, everything. And I'll tell you what, Gus, if you've got an investment like that, keep feeding it.
1st and 10 at the 44. They hand it off, Ronnie Brown, and he gets to the 39. Dolphins have 2 timeouts left, plus the 2-minute warning. 5-yard gain. Marlon Greenwood with the tackle. Culpepper still using the no huddle. 2nd and 5. Here's Culpepper in trouble. He wants to run it, but he throws anyway across his body. Caught at the 20. McMichael down inside the 20. Woo! The Dolphins refusing to give up. C.C. Brown with the tackle. 22-yard gain. Stay with us. We'll be back.
A lot of people have been saying Dante Culpepper's not very mobile, but it's his mobility that causes this play to work. Not only does he avoid the rush, watch what happens when they see him run. He's going to run this way, and the defense comes up to get him and leaves the receiver wide open. Because they didn't know if Dante was going to run or not, they left their receiver open and gave up the big play.
First down, Culpepper to Welker, and that one whizzes right over his head.
Don't tell me Dante can't play, Gus. He can play. They may be struggling. They may be 1-2 at this point. But I'll tell you what, it's not that guy's fault. He's got some pressure, but his ability is still there. And when he gets comfortable with offense and they fix their problems in front of him, that is the offensive line, this team is going to be very good. But they've got offensive line problems, not quarterback problems.
Second down and 10 at the 17. Here comes a corner blitz. Picked up. Culpepper waits and fires it underneath. Caught by Chambers. Greenwood with the tackle. Clock keeps running. 1:45 and counting. And Miami calls a timeout.
And I think, Gus, we said there was 2 and the scoreboard shows they had 2 left. That should be their final timeout. Jason Taylor took one with 3:50 left.
Well, they have one remaining.
Okay, I'll trust you.
Remember, there was the 2-minute warning.
Oh, that's right. They had an injury on one of the timeouts. They get their timeout back. That's what happened when Chris Chambers was on the sidelines we showed a few minutes ago. They gave them their timeout back because of that. That's a good play.
So
and by the way, Chris Chambers is back in the game. He's okay.
The Dolphins need a touchdown and the 2-point conversion. 1:43 to go. Dante Culpepper. A look of determination. He trots back on the field.
And you see there, he comes back on the field. They're up talking to the booth upstairs. Mike Mularkey, who was the head coach of the Buffalo Bills a year ago, calling the plays for the Dolphins, and he hasn't called too many plays that are as important as this one this year.
Chambers, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Welker in the slot at the top. Booker, the receiver at the top of your screen. Here's Culpepper. Chambers wide open. Touchdown, Miami. 16 yards. And the Miami Dolphins are within 2.
And he's working against Dante Robinson, and he just flat out beats him. Great move at the line of scrimmage. Dante Robinson trying to get a chuck right there, and Chambers just flat out uses it.
But the most important part, the 2-point conversion. This may be the ball game right here, folks. Chambers splits out wide to the top of your screen. Booker at the bottom, out of the offset eye. Ronnie Brown, the deep man. McMichael in motion. They pitch it. Brown turns, reverses. He wants to throw it. Done. Oh, he slipped. Incomplete. Booker just couldn't keep his footing in the back of the end zone. And the Texans catch a break. The first break of the year.
And on the 2-point conversion, the Dolphins roll out a pitch reverse pass, trick play. Watch as they toss it to Ronnie Brown. He spins around, and the defense reads it and covers it, and they're all over this play. You see there, that's Lewis Sanders, who's right there, all over Booker. And Chambers are all both in the same spot. You can't do that. You can't have 2 guys in the same spot. And Kubiak, that play, he's not even watching. Gary Kubiak is walking away from the play. He can't bear to watch it. You gotta love a guy who feels it like that, man. He can't even watch the play take place. Oh my goodness.
Folks, you're watching the National Football League. Best thing happening on a Sunday afternoon. Let's take another look.
Watch as this play develops. Ronnie Brown takes it. Good play fake. The defense goes, but you can see how fast the Texan defense recovers, and he throws it down the middle, almost tipped right there. And, of course, Booker in the back of the end zone slips and falls and can't pull it in. There was no chance for Ronnie Brown either. No, you know it was an option for him to pull it down and run it, but the defense recovered so fast he had no shot at getting in after retreating so far on the pitch. So they're going to line up for the onside.
Here comes the onside kick.
This is the most scary play on special teams, Gus. This really is a difficult play to defend and to field.
Murray needs a high bounce. And he gets it. Loose ball. Dolphins. They should have had it.
It looks like
Who has it?
And there's a conference right here. You can see it. They're talking it over.
The last man to touch the ball was a Dolphin. It looked like 57.
There's a question. The ball
Keith Adams.
Excuse me, guys. Ball has to travel 10 yards. Now the thing to do is, if it does not travel 10 yards, nobody can touch anybody. The coverage team can't knock the receiving team away from it. The receiving team can't get inside of 10 yards and knock the coverage team away. The ball has to travel 10 yards before contact can be made, or it's a penalty.
As Houston was the last to touch, it's Houston's ball, first down at the spot of the out of bounds.
And what we couldn't see was that ball skitter out of bounds after the melee.
Watch here. It last. There's 57, and now Houston Texan touches it. Evans.
Well, that's the way it is, and you see there, Gus, Kevin Walter goes up for it, can't pull it in. And then it's tried to be pulled in by Keith Adams for the Dolphins. He can't get it. He bounces off the top of it, and then it squirts out of bounds. And I'll tell you what, guys, that's a lot of bodies flying around trying to find that football, and it goes out of bounds.
Troy Evans, folks, the man that touched the ball last for the Houston Texans. Ron Dane, Cook in the backfield. Here's Dane. And he gets to the 31. Jets in Indianapolis. Great ball game. Here's JB.
Yeah, it is, Gus. After Peyton Manning had just scored, hooking up with Brian Fletcher, look at how the Jets respond. 3 yards deep in the end zone, Justin Miller returns it. Gus, he goes 103 yards for the score. Longest kickoff return in Jets history, and the Jets go on top 28-24. 2 minutes left in regulation. Back to Gus and Steve.
What a game at the Meadowlands. And we have a really good one here.
Yeah, that looks like a track meet in the Meadowlands.
Let's take another look at that onside kick. Olindo Mare. Great bounce on this kick.
Now the ball has to get to the line that those Texans are standing at. You see they jump across, and so does Walter. Now the ball comes up. Walter has a chance to field it and can't. Now once he touches it, it's okay for the Dolphins to go after, but you can see there get kicked out of bounds by the Texans.
Texans run it again as Ron Dane goes down at the 30. Troy Evans, number 54 for the Texans. It looked as if he was the man that last touched the ball for Houston to give them possession.
That's one of those plays. It's a roll of the dice.
Keith Adams, 57 for Miami. Pounced on it, just couldn't hold on.
He had it, and when you come down, you're diving on it. You come down and bounce right off of it, and there's Evans. You see the guy who made the play just by missing the ball and kicking it out of bounds. Both these coaches will tell you sometimes it's not the plays you make, it's the plays you don't make that come back and help you.
3rd down and 7. And a timeout called by Houston. A look at disappointment on the face of Dante Culpepper. Don't forget, coming up, we've got some really good games for you. New England at Cincinnati. Carson Palmer and company trying to remain undefeated. Jacksonville will take on the Washington Redskins, and Cleveland is at Oakland. Something's got to give. Both those teams winless on the year.
Oakland coming off their bye week.
So the Houston Texans are 47 seconds away from their first win of the season. That young man, rookie Mario Williams, finally got a sack. First overall pick in the draft out of NC State. Has 1.5 sacks now.
Does that mean 1.5 sacks is better than no touchdowns for Reggie Bush?
Ha ha. Very interesting. And now David Carr will take a knee. Miami out of timeouts. And he takes a knee. The clock will continue to run.
Now that play didn't take quite enough time, so they're going to have to run one more play, but it will only be with 2 seconds on the game clock or so, maybe 3 seconds, and that will be the end of it.
There's Coach Kubiak.
He's going to get his first win as a head coach in the National Football League today, Gus.
I like the last play. He couldn't watch.
Could not watch that 2-point conversion.
So for Steve Tasker, this is Gus Johnson saying so long from Houston. Our final score, 17-15. Texans win their first one of the year.